Welcome to The Creative Gem, a podcast which amplifies the voices of creative and underestimated gems. You will hear stories that will empower, educate, and inspire you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Creative Gem podcast. I am Jasmine, your host, and today we have Coach Rocky here, and she is going to introduce herself. Tell us about you, Rocky, Coach Rocky.
Yes. Hi, guys. I am a business and content marketing coach. So I teach entrepreneurs how to take their content and convert it into either engagement, followers, or what we all like to get, sales. And so I do that by teaching you how to use organic methods that's true to you. But even though they're true to you and they're comfortable, you still have to do some stretching in order to make your business grow. So when your clarity, your confidence, and your consistency all come together, that's when you become a content conqueror.
Ooh, content conqueror. I love that.
Yes.
Is that trademark? Did you trademark? That should be trademarked.
You know, I haven't trademarked it just yet. There's two sayings I'm actually trademarking. Some people call me a content chemist because they say my ideas are usually pretty strategic, like they're pretty crazy, but they always work. So they call me a content chemist, which I will be trademarking.
Yes, you should. You should. Well, tell us a little bit more about you. Where were you born? Who did you grow up with? How was your beginnings?
Awesome. Yes. So I'm a girl from New Orleans, Louisiana, grew up in the city. I moved out to Texas when I was 15 after Hurricane Katrina, and pretty much made my life here in Texas. I'm the youngest of six. A lot of people like to consider me the mistake baby because I came along when my mom was done having kids. And here I come just kind of ruining everybody's, fun times as the sixth kid. I'm the baby of the family. I have a lot of stepbrothers and stepsisters too. But no matter what, I'm still the baby. I have an 11-year-old daughter. She is also an entrepreneur. She's launching her candle business in September. Yes. So she loves everything about being an entrepreneur as well.
Well, that's awesome. I have a 10-year-old son, and I can't get him into like this entrepreneurial thing. How did you get her into that?
It really was the exchange of, if you really want something, you have to work for it and you have to earn money to buy it. And so it started with small things around the house. It was, clean this and I'll give you some money. And then she started doing bigger jobs and we would Cash App her. And so once she got that Cash App card, her life was just changed after that. She's like, now I want my own business. I want my own money to do my own thing. So that's how it started.
Awesome. I love it. And her candle business, what's the name of it?
It's called Elena Scented Kisses. And so we will have pre-sale up in August, and then September is when we'll start shipping.
Amazing. I know she's so proud of herself. And I know you're so proud.
She is. It's a long time coming.
Yes.
Yes, well, I am.
Awesome. So with that being said, I know that you're probably your daughter's most influential person, in her life. Who is the most influential person in your life?
That is a really great question. I actually have a couple people. So my dad is definitely the most influential person in my life because he was the first entrepreneur I really knew. He drove trucks and he had his own trucks, and I always used to ride around with him. Seeing how he maneuvered business and handled family just made me super proud. And then, of course, my mom, she's the original OG entrepreneur, having 6 kids, working 2 or 3 jobs, having maybe 2 or 3 side hustles, always making sure that her kids had everything that they needed. She's definitely one of my biggest inspirations too. Even now, my dad has passed, but my mom is still with me. And now I'm able to pay it forward through my own entrepreneurial endeavors by taking care of her and making sure she has everything she needs.
I love it. I think that's a dream of mine as well. To kind of, my mom had seven. We lost my oldest brother, but she had seven, and she was a hustler too, working lots of jobs to support all of us. And so through my work,
Mm-hmm.
I want to do the same, like kind of take care of her so she can just chill. But I know my
That's
mom
amazing.
inspires me. Yes, my mom inspires me. Who inspires you besides your mom? Is there anyone? And your dad? Anyone else?
Um, I would have to say my sister. She's not my oldest. Well, both of my sisters, my older sister and the one that's in the middle. Both of them do inspire me. My older sister definitely helped out a lot when I was younger, like raising me because my mom worked a lot. And so she was kind of like my pseudo mom, helping to take care of me. And then my middle sister, because she was the sister who kind of took care of me as an adult. When things kind of got tough, she was the one who took me in and me and my daughter in and made sure that we had a place to stay, and that I kind of rebuilt my life. I got divorced, and so rebuilt my life after my divorce and given me the opportunity to even establish businesses to become an entrepreneur. So my sisters.
Yes, I love that. I can definitely relate. My older sister, definitely kind of the pseudo mom, and I spoke to her this morning. I mean, we had great conversation. She's definitely an inspiration to me as well. What is something, thinking, going back to your childhood or just as a younger adult, what's something that you grew up not liking about yourself, but now you've accepted it? Now you like love it.
Oh Lord. Okay. So just to kind of let you and your listeners know, I have other businesses. And I'll not to plug my other businesses, but it'll give you guys a little context behind why around my issue. And so I'm in Airbnb, I'm in Turo, I have drop shipping stores, as well as a commercial cleaning company. So I have all these other businesses. But what it all came down to is as a kid, I love talking to people. I was the talker. Like you talk about anybody new in the classroom, I talk to them. If we could take a test, I'm talking. And everyone would always tell me like you need to hush, you need to be quiet, but in reality I just love getting to know people and what kind of ticked about people. And so I didn't like always that I was a talker. I didn't know how people would say shut up sometimes. And so when I was in high school, I instead of talking, I did sports. And people would tell me like, okay, I get that you like to do sports, but you need to speak up more. And I'm like, okay, y'all want me to shut up. Now y'all want me to speak up more. And so now as an adult, being a content coach, I get to talk anytime I want to on my platform. I get to talk how I want. Being a Southern girl, people would say, you got that Southern accent. You talk like you're from New Orleans. Like I can talk however I want on my platform, and I get to actually use my voice to generate business. With my Airbnbs, I get to communicate with people to find out why they're coming to stay. My Turo, I get to find out why people are coming into the DFW area to get a car. Even with people buying the products on my stores, like they're buying them for a reason. I get to actually communicate with people in certain ways. So I love being able to talk now. If you guys couldn't tell.
Yes, I mean, I love that you are sharing your voice and using your platform, to help others, Airbnb, Turo, like that's just amazing. Super amazing. Well, let's get into the business because you're doing amazing things. So, in a blog post, you stated that you started your first business at 14, writing papers and completing science projects. Tell us about that.
Yes. Okay. So we weren't poor, like we were poor, but we weren't like struggling. But we never had enough money to buy like extra things, or buy like the shoes that you want, the clothes that you want. So what I did, my very smart idea was to write papers for seniors in high school. So I would write their papers and then they would buy them from me and turn it into their teachers. And then also for science projects, I always loved science. Biochem was actually my major in college. I just loved science. So I would actually do their science projects, their science research, and they would pay me for that. And so I actually got in trouble. I got in trouble at school because, of course, you can't write people's papers and do their projects for them. I got in trouble for that, but that was like my first business. I was creating these papers and projects in exchange for money.
I love that. I love the entrepreneurial spirit that you had at such a young age. And like, I definitely probably could have used your services. Because
Yes.
I did not like writing those science papers. But I do want to go into some of your business wins, some of your business failures.
Yes.
What was some of your biggest business failures, and what did you learn from it?
So I would say 3.5 years ago, I started one of my first businesses, which I relaunched it. So it was a baking business called Bake with a Twist. And when I started that business, I pretty much started it with my own personal funds. I didn't know how to do anything with systems. I didn't know how to price cakes, pies, or anything. I just started it because it was a passion. I love baking. But I was bleeding the business dry, meaning I was bleeding me dry. And the way I also filed the company with the state, it was not proper, basically. So I ended up getting a really big tax bill because I didn't file it properly. I also didn't understand filing your taxes as an individual and as a business. So that was an issue there too. And so I actually had to get attorney help to fix some of the things that I messed up on it. And that was probably a failure, but it was also a win because I learned that you needed to, in order to start a business, you needed to research if there's really a market for it, how you're going to price your products, how you're going to make the money, and then, of course, how are you going to properly structure your business? So I learned a lot in that experience, even though financially I did take a loss.
You hit on some really important stuff: filing taxes, making sure your business is set up properly. Is it an LLC or is it an S corp?
Yep.
You know, and so yeah, so now you overcame that. You got all that straightened out, and so you don't do that business anymore, though, right?
I still do it. I only run that business. So funny story. This was the first year that I didn't run it. I only run it from October to February, which is with Bake with a Twist. It's my passion. It's like one of those things, like your passion hobbies. So I only run it a certain period of time during the year. This year was the first year I did not bake, and people were so upset. They were like, "What are you talking about? You're not baking for Thanksgiving or Christmas." Like, I have other things I'm doing. I'm busy. But I am actually gonna kick it back up this year and get back in the kitchen.
Yes, please do. What's your favorite thing to bake?
So my sellout, as I have seen people drop it on the floor and eat it off the floor. That's how good it is.
Oh, really?
Is my sweet potato pie. People love my sweet potato pie. They just love it. Like, I've literally seen someone drop a piece of pie on the floor and pick it up and eat it because they did not want to waste anything.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Wow. It's that good.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, you got to let us know. You got to let us know when you're going to start back up. Is it is it only local? You sell it everywhere? Like, where could we get it when you start selling it again?
I ship. Okay. So I actually, it's like a pop-up. If you guys think of traditional pop-ups, they're only up for like a couple days or however long, right? So for my baking business, our Instagram page and our link to buy only pop-ups during that certain time of the year. So we announce it. I announce it on all of my social media pages, and then it pops up, and then anyone can order, and we ship out.
Awesome. Okay, well, I'm gonna be looking for that pop-up.
So look forward to it around September.
Absolutely. So on your website, it says that you had a corporate job for 10 years, creating courses and training programs. Can
Hmm.
you tell me a little bit more about that? And did you get your coaching and training experience working this job?
Absolutely. So, yes, I have been a compliance trainer for about 10 years now, working with a company. And I actually am still working with the company, but my last day is June 30th. I've hit a point in my entrepreneurial career, or however you want to say it, where I'm like, okay, I'm making some good money. I'm ready to exit the job. And really focus on the business. So I did. I developed training manuals when COVID hit. So before COVID, we were in the classroom. And so a lot of the instruction took place in the classroom. You had people there. So I created a lot of that material for the classroom. But COVID hit, we had to figure out how to pivot and take them on the same journey, the same training journey via like a WebEx or a Zoom or something like that. So we had to take all of the material, put it online, and then make sure that they get that same experience as the classroom. So I was able to help put all of that instruction together. And then in one department, I started working in that department for investigations. I helped them develop the entire training program. So I love working with people. That's actually where my path, like that's where it thrived, is seeing that aha moment on people's faces when they were like, I got the thing. Like I understand it. Like this makes sense. And so that's what really fed into me starting my own business, my own consulting and coaching business, where I can help people get their aha moments at any time of their business, whether they're starting, growing, or scaling.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, what was a turning point that made you leave your job? So I believe you said it was because you're making good enough money and you were like, okay, I had enough of this.
I really think it was when I got a coach. I got a coach, and I've always had coaches and mentors, but I had finally decided to invest in a coach and mentor outside of like work. And so I got a coach and a mentor who really like showed me you can make this business bigger than what you've imagined it to be. And then when you're growing it, you can employ people to bring in, you can employ your own team, and they'll come in and work on the business and do the things as well. And just showing me a different way. Like I always thought that I had to have health insurance through a job. I always thought that I had to have life insurance through a job. And most African Americans think that. But I saw that I can actually buy my own health insurance. I can actually get my own life insurance. Actually, I can get better life insurance outside of my job. So that those just the access and the resources.
Absolutely, yes. Because once you leave your job, what happens to that health insurance? What happens to that life insurance? So it's always better to
Yep.
have it separately. Well, tell me more about the people that you serve. Who do you work with? Who's your ideal client?
Awesome. So I work with coaches and consultants on the service based side. I work with coaches and consultants. I have worked with realtors as well, just helping them use content to grow their business. And then on the product based side, specifically, I work with those in the health, beauty, and fitness industry to help them figure out how to take that content for their products and convert it into sales. A lot of times what I figure on both of those is they only create content to one specific group of people who are ready to buy their product. But the problem is that they weren't always ready to buy the product. They started somewhere else first. And so creating content to hit all of those places in the customer journey is how you improve the engagement, improve the followers, and improve the sales. And so I chose those two specific target audiences because that's just where my passion lies as well.
All right, awesome. Well, what is a common myth about your job or field of expertise? And how do you
Ooh,
dispute that? Mm-hmm.
I love this one. So, number one thing is people think I have to have a lot of followers in order for me to make money off of my content. And that is absolutely false. You don't. All you need to do is make sure that you have an engaged audience, engaged followers, people who are liking on your content, people who will comment on your content. Those are the people that I call quality buyers. Those are the people who are going to help you make sales. I know several people who have less than 1,000 followers and make way more money than those who have 10,000, 20,000 followers. And that's just because they capitalize on their content a whole lot better. So that's the number one thing that people think I have to have a huge following. And I would say number two is I have to be like a celebrity in order for people to want to buy from me. That's not true. You just have to be a value leader and an expert in your field, and people will connect with you and want to buy from you.
That's something definitely that I kind of thought. Like, I thought you had to have like a lot of followers. Yeah, but having an engaged audience is more important. So take note, guys, that you need an engaged audience and not a lot of followers. Although, I mean, it's also good to have a lot of followers, though.
Sometimes it is, but if they're just following you just to look at you, not to do any, like they're just lurking, that's not a good thing. You don't want lurkers. You want people who are going to go on that journey with you that eventually leads to them actually like buying your product or buying your service.
Absolutely. Well, I noticed that between all the services that you offer, content creation and content strategy are the services that you most focus on. Why is that?
Mm-hmm.
Why is like that? Why did you choose to focus on that?
Absolutely. So, when the pandemic hit, a lot of women that look like us, African American women, decided to start a business. And when they started the business, marketing was marketing is the number one thing that they struggle with. How do I market my product? How do I market my service? And so I specifically love content because content is everything. We consume content every single day. We watch TV, we read things on social media. So I love content, right? So when I saw that so many of women that look like me were struggling to use content to grow their business, I wanted to specifically help women improve their content so they can grow. So I'll give you an example. I have a client that I work with. She sells natural hair care products. When I went to her website, I asked her, I said, what's in your product and how do I use it? And so she said, well, I know what's in my product. She told me verbatim what was in it. I said, so as a client or someone who's about to buy it, how do I know what's in it if it's not on your website? And so she was like, what do you mean? I said, content is not just social media. Content is on your website as well. You need to tell your people what's in it. And then you also need to tell them how to use the product. So that way they know if they're using it properly. They're consuming the content of your product. And so those product descriptions, they didn't realize that you needed to have like a good product description for people to really connect to and actually want to buy your product. What if there's something in it that they're allergic to and you don't have it listed? That could be a big issue, right? So content, that's why, I love the content side of things.
Awesome. And it's definitely something that's needed. Absolutely. Like you said, for women of color, we do struggle with trying to come up with our content. So I know I do. So, what is your advice on overcoming the fear of creating content, putting yourself out there, like making the reels, the TikToks, going on live, stuff like that?
So I'll say, so a lot of people know when they work with me, I'm very direct. I love you guys. I'll probably slap you and then hug you. But I am a very direct coach. I don't play no games. And so here's what I say. You started the business. You didn't start it to fail. So you have to be able to stretch and do the things to make it successful. But no one is going to ask you to be anything other than yourself. Sometimes people believe they have to be like me on social media when I tell them, no, you need to be exactly like you and show up as your true and authentic self. I cuss sometimes when I'm on live or on Instagram live. And I tell my audience, if I let a cuss word slip out, don't hold it to my heart. Just know my heart is good. I'm just human. And that's what people want to see. They want to see a human interaction with you. And when they're able to connect with that, that's when your content really converts to other things. So I would say just be you, be authentic, decide that you're going to show up for your business. And then, of course, you will have all the things that you want from your business. And that includes the followers, that includes the sales and things like that.
Absolutely. So with the TikToks and the reels and the carousel posts and all that, what content in your experience is most useful, converts more, and engages an audience?
Ooh, I love this question. Okay. So right now, the number one piece of content, no matter if you're on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, it doesn't matter where you're at, video. Video is the number one piece of content that converts the best, it engages the best. Okay. And so I'll give you guys a couple things that you can do with your how to make videos. So if you create a single post, a lot of times people just post a picture. You can take that picture and you can upload it to a program or a software like Canva, and you can download it as a video. And when you download it as a video, now that single picture, you can post it as a video and it gets constant views, because unlike a reel, when you post it on Instagram, reels, you can watch it twice and then it says watch again. Videos just keep looping and looping. And that's because it's one of the most highly engaged type of content. After video, when it comes to video and reels, then will be carousel posts. So carousel posts, especially on Instagram, when someone watches that first post, if they scroll by, the next time they open up Instagram, the next picture in the carousel is going to pop up. And I'm sure you've probably seen that yourself, where if you didn't finish a carousel, when you got back in there, you saw it and you were like, I never scrolled over to this. It's going to automatically scroll to the next picture. So video and having great lighting, like you see here, I have natural lighting. I don't have any lights or anything on, and just like the organic content, you just being you. That is probably some of the best content that you can create, video reels and those carousel posts.
Okay. Thank you for dropping those gems.
Yes.
Definitely love it. Yeah. I myself am trying to do a little bit more reels. I gotta step up my game with the carousel posts, but
It's easy, and not necessarily easy for me. It can be easy for you and any of your listeners. You have something, a piece of knowledge that you can break down in singular posts. And so one of the recommendations I give for carousels is that you use that first slide or that first post to introduce whatever it is. So you can say 3 myths behind creating a podcast. And then in that second one, you'll talk about, I'm going to be going over the 3 myths about starting your podcast. Make sure that you write these down or something. And then you just go into each of those. So you'll have 1, 2, 3. And then at the end of that carousel post, you just say, did you find this information helpful? Engage with me below. You always want a call to action. So you already have it in you. There's a lot of knowledge that you already have, as well as your listeners. You guys just have to think like objectives. Remember back in school when they would say, write your outline? That's really what a carousel
yeah.
post is. It's like an outline. So if you were to think about your content and write it as an outline, you can create a carousel post.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Yes. So, do you need to maintain balance between what the audience wants, like what's trendy, and being your authentic self?
I say be you more than trying to do what's trending. And the reason being is because the thing about trends go away, fads go away. You will never go away if you just be yourself. Yes, you might want to capitalize on using some of those trends to create content, But when I use the trends, like I'll just say, for instance, because everybody's still talking about it no matter what, where, the Will Smith and Chris Rock incident, right? I used that picture and I said, this is your coach telling you to stop posting memes all day when you need to actually be posting content that helps your audience. And so that's me using a trend strategically, not me just using it like, oh, look at Will doing this to Chris Rock. That's not going to help my business grow. So me using it strategically. So I would say focus on just being you and having your strategy in place in order for your content to really convert. So trends go away. You don't want your stuff to really go away.
Great advice. Really, really great advice. Thank you so much. So you have a workshop masterclass coming up?
Yes, I do. So it's called Learn the 3 Steps to Rockin' Social Media Content. So I'm going to be sharing my steps or my secrets as to how I create my content, but how I also teach my clients to create their content. And that's showing you how to actually create content that promotes the followers, the engagement, as well as the sales. So that takes place on June 16th, this Thursday, at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's absolutely free. There's a VIP option if you want to purchase the VIP option, but it's absolutely free for you to sign up and to spend a couple hours with me learning how to improve your content.
Yes, yes. So tell us about the VIP option.
Yes. So with the VIP option, you do get 3 additional bonuses. So there's a market research guide. I also add in 51 of my highest converting hooks and captions, and then also a social media planner. So those are the 3 bonuses. Plus, you get a 1 hour Q&A only for $97. So you get to kind of pick my brain on different content questions that you may have for $97.
Y'all, that is a steal. I would definitely go for
Yeah.
the VIP option. Well, thank you so
We're
much
all
for being
VIP.
yes, yes. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. Tell us where we can find you and connect with you and sign up for your workshop.
Yes. Okay. So you guys can connect with me on Instagram at Coach Rocky Knows Her Shit. And that's spelled SHYT at the end. And just to let you guys know, people always ask me, why did I choose that tag name? And it's not because I know everything, it's because I know where to find the answer if I don't know it. And that's me being confident in that. Right. And so you can connect with me on Instagram, and you can sign up at the website by clicking the link in my bio on Instagram, or you can go to www.therockyourcontentworkshop.com to sign up.
Yes, guys, go and do it. Like, we got so many gems, so much information in this interview. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening to the Creative Gem podcast. Make sure you go connect, follow, sign up for the workshop with Coach Rocky. And as always, you're a gem, gifted, educated, and magical. Bye, guys.